Welcome to the Sports Hit List. I'm your host, Carl Coulage, and today we're talking about baseball. That's right, I said it, baseball. And a lot of people think people don't watch baseball anymore, but you guys are here to tell them otherwise, correct?
Correct.
Chris, welcome to the show for the first time.
Thanks for having me.
Here. All right. Gregor, Polius,
Yeah, Greg.
welcome. Greg, what do you want to call?
Greg is fine.
Greg is fine, you
Yeah,
sure?
yeah,
okay.
sure.
And Brandon for the first time. Thank you for coming on to the show.
Thanks for
So
inviting me.
guys, baseball season is underway, first week. A lot of people are predicting the Nationals already on paper, and ESPN and all the other media outlets are talking the Nationals look to be the one to make it to the World Series. So what do you guys see? And I know it's early. Everyone's going to say, well, you can't judge a team off the first week of baseball. But from doing your homework and research, what's your take? Chris?
I think the Nats have a good chance. They're in a division where you get to play Atlanta 18 times and Philly 18 times, so you got some weak teams you're playing against. Good chance, I think, to win that division. They got a rotation that, as you know, if you get hot with pitching in the playoffs, you can carry that all the way through. So I could definitely see them winning the whole thing.
All right. Before we get to you, don't talk about your Mets. Now, for the fans out there, Greg is a big Met fan. And since I've known you in high school, that's all you talk about, the Mets, the Mets, the Mets this, the Mets that.
Of course.
But before we talk about the Mets, what do you think is going on for
The Nats?
the Nats?
Talent-wise, they can win that division. It's in the playoffs where if they're not healthy, I don't know how far that pitcher can carry them. Bryce Harper needs to not run into walls. Okay, Jason Worth needs to stay healthy, and the back end of their bullpen. Because in the playoffs, if your bullpen is not strong, you're gonna struggle.
Right.
Starter pitching can only get you so far.
Right.
And if their back end of the bullpen doesn't hold up, then I can see them getting knocked off.
Brandon, what's your take on the Nationals?
I agree. The Nationals look good on paper, but you don't win championships on paper. You got to play the game.
Right.
The Nationals, they have strong starting rotation, but I believe their bullpen is shaky, and so is their starting hitting.
All right.
The hitters.
Now let's transition to New York baseball. First, the Yankees. No more Jeter, no more. No more core four. The last member of the core four, Posada, Pettit, Rivera, to retire last year. How did the Yankees transition from moving on from not having Jeter around in the locker room guy?
I don't think the leadership's going to be a big deal. You don't have a young team. You have a team of veterans. You have Teixeira, McCann, Sabathia. Most of the guys are veterans I don't feel that kind of clubhouse needs the one leader per se. I know he's going to be missed as far as I know he will be missed in the locker room, but is it going to make a huge difference? I don't think it's going to make or break.
It's not going to make or break the team.
I don't think so.
The Yankees' problem is they're not.
Before you even start, we know you don't like the Yankees.
It's
You're
not
a Met fan.
It's not about
be,
not liking the
be
Yankees.
objective.
I'm being objective. I'm a baseball fan, so I'm going to be objective.
Okay.
It's the Yankee fans I don't like.
And why is that?
Because Yankee fans are obnoxious and entitled.
Well, we have a Yankee fan here on the panel.
No, not all. Let me rephrase it. Not all Yankee fans.
Well, now you want to change your words now.
Not
because
all
I told you he's a
fans.
Yankee fan.
No, I knew he was a Yankee fan, but not all Yankee fans are obnoxious and entitled. A vast majority of them are.
Okay.
But what the Yankees need to do as hitters, if they want to succeed, is kind of reinvent themselves on offense. And I just don't see that happening. They're a lot of guys who, in that small ballpark, are going to try to hit home runs. Make the pitcher raise his pitch count, get on base, walk, 3-run homer. Guys are throwing more strikes in the league. Walks are down. Strikeouts are up. Okay. And I just don't see that lineup, as old as they are, and the veterans kind of conforming to play small ball, so to speak.
Brandon, your take on the Yankees?
I think this year the Yankees are going to struggle big time. Their starting pitching is kind of shaky. Tanaka seems to be hurt. Sabathia's coming off knee surgery. Nova's coming back, I believe, in June. He just coming back from Tommy John surgery. That starting rotation, they need them to be healthy, because I don't think the hitting is going to last that long, because they rely too much on the home run ball.
Now, the other New York team, the Mets.
I don't like how you said the other.
The other New York team. Well, we know that the Yankees run baseball here in New York. So the Mets. Every year when I talk to their fans, this is the year, I read over, this is the year of the Mets. Is this the year finally of the Mets to resurrect?
I don't know what Mets fans you have spoken to over the last 5 years.
Okay.
Every year this is the year. But this particular year, being that they actually have, solid arms in place, guys who are building off of, qualities. We have the previous reigning NL Rookie of the Year in our starting rotation, kind of anchoring rotation. Matt Harvey being the all-star starter 2013. the way he pitched in spring training, if they continue on that path, the Mets don't have to hit a lot. They just have to hit a little bit, hit with runners in scoring position, and they can contend for the wild card. Because last year, even as terrible as we were on offense, we still had a positive run differential.
I love how you say we. Like, it's your team. We.
You always say we.
Like he's part of the team.
Always
Like
say
he's
we,
part of
we.
the
It's
team.
your
I love
team.
how you say we. I love it. Brandon, your take on the Mets?
I think this year the Mets are going to be better compared to last few seasons. They might compete for a playoff spot, but I don't think they might make it. They have a good starting rotation, but I don't think they're going to hit enough.
Well, I mean, being in the same division with the Nationals, it might be. Would you say it's a lot tougher for them to crack out in?
What it's going to come down to is pitching and defense.
Pitching and defense.
Okay, especially late in games. Just like in the first game against Scherzer. Scherzer had a no-hitter. Ian Desmond makes an error. Mets capitalize. They end up winning the game. If you can't play defense late in the game, it's going to be hard for your starting pitching to get the W.
Chris, your take on the Mets? What do you think? Objectively.
No, I'm always talking earlier. I'm objective with it. I think they have a lot to look forward to. Really, it's a shame that Wheeler went down this year because you got 3 young guys in Harvey, Wheeler, and DeGrom that could be a real foundation of a rotation for years to come. You got some young guys like Darno. Wright's always been around, serviceable player. Duda, I didn't even realize how many home runs Duda hit last year.
Yeah.
You got some good players there. I just think that division's two-sided because, like I said earlier, you have to play Philly and Atlanta, who's like fire sale, getting rid of everybody now. You get to play those teams 18 times each, but you also have to play the Nationals 18 times. So I could see it going either way with them. If their guys stay healthy, if their pitching comes back, if Bartolo Colon can pitch,
Like he did in game
not like
one.
he's 47 years old or whatever he is,
Right.
but if he can pitch like that, you got a shot.
If the Mets play 500 ball against the Nationals, they have a shot because last year they went 4-15 against the Nationals, and we finished 79 and 83. The wild card team won, I believe, 88 games or 89. So you tack on Harvey coming back, and that's another 10 plus wins in a rotation. You lose real obviously, but I just feel like if you play 500 ball against the Nationals, it'll put you in a better position to make the playoffs.
Now, here's last year, did you guys ever predict that the Royals would make it to the World Series?
Nobody
I didn't predict they
predicted
would make it to the World Series, but
But their run, no one saw that coming.
No.
Do you see anyone this year that could potentially be that sleeper team to make a nice run, make a Cinderella story kind of run into? If you would pick a team right now, is there any team that jumps off the top of your head, Chris?
Not that it would be that far a sleeper like Kansas City was, but I think Cleveland's got a shot where no one really thinks about Cleveland in that
No
division.
one ever thinks about Cleveland.
It's always right. Well, yeah.
Any
but
sport, no one ever thinks about Cleveland.
It's always Detroit's always the one where you have those guys, and it is a tough team to face in Detroit, and it's hard to go against Verlander and Price at the top of rotation. But I think Cleveland's got a shot at maybe being a wild card and sneaking in.
Greg?
I'm going to go with the Pirates just because they've made, a couple runs in the past years. McCutchen is a perennial MVP candidate. They have some young starting pitching that's really good coming up. Garrett Cole, is a potential ace, and they hit.
Sleeper team would be the Baltimore Orioles. I know last year they won the American League East, but they won it without Matt Wieters and Manny Machado. This year they have both of them back healthy. They have a strong bullpen, and they could hit.
Final thoughts here. If you were to make a World Series prediction in April now,
Ooh.
I know it's early, but off the top of your head, who's making it in October?
Washington and Seattle.
Washington, Seattle.
I like the Seattle pick. Might piggyback you on the Seattle pick because I like their pitching. Like to know. And from the National League, I would probably go back with the Giants.
Oh, he didn't say the Mets. Wow.
I'm realistic.
My pick would be Washington from the NL, and from the AL would be, Detroit.
Detroit.
They have strong,
All right.
strong starting pitching.
All right. Well, thank you guys for coming on Sports Illustrated.
Of course,
Really
thanks.
appreciate
Thank you
it.
for having me.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
All right.